Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and this is the WZ-121 GFT, a tank that you used to see tons and tons of videos on where everyone would call it overpowered, and honestly, it used to be overpowered. However, in 2024, you never see anyone make any videos on this tank, and you never see anyone really play it anymore. Why is that? And has it fallen into power creep where it just no longer holds up in battle? Those are the questions I will be answering in today's video. But first, let's break into its stats. Starting off with the gun, its average damage is 400 on its standard shells, 340 on the premium, and 500 on its HE. As for its penetration, it's really good at 268 on the standard, nice 350 heat pen, and 66 pen on its HE. In terms of its gun depression, it's 6 degrees, which might not sound great. However, because the tank has such a low profile, 6 degrees is actually enough for this tank to do well on most maps. In terms of the gun handling, the aim time is 3.5 seconds, and the dispersion while using refined gun is 0.277. So, for the most part, the gun's fairly accurate, but it can be a little bit troll, which will sometimes annoy the crap out of you. The DPM of just over 2700 is also really solid. Now, taking a look at the mobility, this tank goes 50 forward, which is ridiculous, and 20 in reverse, which is fantastic. The mobility on this tank was one of the great things about it back in the day, and it still is fantastic to this day. It has a very good power to weight of 18.5 and a fantastic hull turn rate of 54, meaning that most light tanks and medium tanks will have a very challenging time getting around you. Now, what else about this tank is good? Well, the armor profile is still quite solid. It has a very good frontal plate that has a very good angle to it. So overall, I mean, the armor in and of itself is not all that strong, but because it has such a steep angle or such a sloped angle to it, it means that you are going to find you get a lot of troll bounces in this thing, especially if you are wedging it up on hills. The more you wedge it up on a hill, the stronger your armor profile will be. So that's honestly what you want to do in this tank, is you want to wedge it up on hills and you want to wiggle it back and forth using that crazy traverse speed, because both of those things combined will get you lots of bounces. Now, one of the main downsides of this tank that it's had since it first came into the game is its lack of HP. You can see I only have 1100 health. I am using enhanced armor, but even without enhanced armor, you are still going to have like just under 1200 HP, which is really bad for a tier 8 tank, and it means you are going to get deleted very quickly. Even though this thing has so many good things going for it, that lack of HP really hurts it if you put it in the wrong situation. However, everything else combined, I mean, the tank is still, in my opinion, quite solid. But let's see how we can do in it in these 3 live battles. So, of course, we're on Vineyards, and we are up against all tier 8s, which is actually quite surprising. And it looks like their team went town. So I'm going to make a very aggressive play in that case up towards where the A cap should be. And let's see if we can farm out some damage here. Now, I don't think this tank should be played as like a sniping tank destroyer. I don't think the accuracy is that good on it. So yes, the accuracy it's good, but it's not good enough to be like Grill 15 sitting at the back only sniping in this vehicle. You should be playing this thing second line behind your heavy tanks or behind other tanks that have more HP than you, because if you're able to get that DPM working, you are going to farm a ton of damage. And already we have shot 2 people for over 400 damage in a super short amount of time, and because this Pantera has literally no clue where he's going, we're able to hit him twice before he gets into cover. The DPM on this tank is really nice paired with that 400 alpha damage, and it means you can get a ton of damage out very quickly. Let's see if we can hit this Prog, who is now crossing in the open. There we go. We hit him for a unfortunate low roll, but still at least we hit him, so there we go. We do have the M3 Yo off to our side there, who is shooting his final shell at us, and he misses, which is fine with me. So honestly, at this point, I'm just going to keep holding mid. There's nothing really more... there's nothing else I really need to do in this situation. Like, we have base cap on them. We're kind of just sitting here, and hopefully they'll get baited out by the fact that we're capping the base. Usually if you're in counter and like neither team is moving, sitting in base is a good way to draw out the enemy tanks, because they'll kind of just YOLO you, and that's about it. So let's see what happens this game. There, Progetto got absolutely nuked, and let's see if we can hit this Lorraine across the map here. No, unfortunately, he's not really poking us, although, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What am I getting shot at for 400? Oh, their WZ's camping in the back there. That's unfortunate that we lost a ton of HP for nothing, really. We didn't really shoot anyone, so that was a very negative elixir trade right there. However, this STRV is going to eat a bunch of shells really quickly, and let's kill him off there with a nice 313 finisher into his tank. And now we see the Progetto, or not Progetto, Pantera off to our side here. He does pen us once, but it doesn't really matter. Bro is now dead. And their team is honestly just not doing too well. They fell apart very, very quickly. Oh boy, there's the WZ that shot at me earlier. I completely forgot about him. Good thing he didn't shoot me again. But let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to YOLO off the hill? Not really, but man just lost 300 health to me, so that's good. Hopefully I can get one more shell into him so I can break 3k. He does somehow bounce me, which is pretty impressive. I guess it's because we were wedged up on those stairs there. Hopefully, can I get the clear shot into him? We do, in fact, get the kill shot. So 4 kills and 3.4k damage. That was a pretty solid game in this tank, and I mean, it showcased a decent amount of what this tank can do and can't do. You can see there, like, I made one bad play in mid by overextending, and I got nuked, like, for half my HP. That's just how quickly you can get deleted in this tank. But then you could also see the other end of the spectrum, where we just were able to farm out a crap ton of damage in very little time, even with such a steamroll of a battle. But yeah, this tank has fallen a little bit into power creep, simply because a lot of tier 8s have just received more pen and more pen over the updates. And this tank hasn't really followed in terms of its armor getting buffed. I don't think it's changed once since it first came out. Even with it getting PBR, this tank still has the same armor profile. Anyways, let's wait until Wargaming loads me into battle. And we are finally in our second battle on Canyon. So as I was saying in between battles, yeah, the armor profile, it can hold up to a certain extent, but it's not what it used to be. And I think that's the main reason why you don't really see people talking about this tank in an overpowered way anymore. One of the overpowered things about this tank was the fact that it just had such good armor back in the day. Like, it made up for the lack of HP, and now, honestly, a lot of tanks can just butter right through you when they load premium shells. It's mostly just good against newer players who don't know what to aim at, honestly. Think of it as like a V4. Like a V4, if you are a skilled player, you're going to absolutely rip that tank apart, because when you get to its sides or its hatch or its lower plate with certain tanks, you can just pen all of those areas. And it's similar to this tank. Like, if you find out where to pen this vehicle, you're going to be able to pen it like every single time. And for that reason, I just don't think it's as good as it used to be. However, that doesn't mean it's a bad tank, and I still think it's honestly one of the best tank destroyers at tier 8, even with the downside of its not so good armor anymore. You can see here, we were still able to get a bounce from that WZ-110 over there, and oh my god, their Scorpion just got destroyed. Bruh. I mean, you can see here, the low profile paired with 6 degrees of gun depression means we can sit comfortably on this area right here, and there's not much this IS-3 can really do about me. So that's one plus, is having a low profile is really, really good. And honestly, the gun is still fantastic on this tank. Even after all the years it's been out, it just hasn't really changed in its effectiveness. This gun is still absolutely amazing if you are able to get it working. That was unfortunate. Wow, okay. So we bounced the IS-3, but I mean, he's in like the worst position he could ever be in. Like, bro is stuck in between like 5 of my team's tanks right now. We're somehow getting bounces from our rear by this Action X. I don't know how he's bouncing my rear, but you know what? We'll track him in place. Unfortunate low roll, but he's going to die pretty soon here. Let's see if I can get a shell into him, finishing him off. And unfortunately, I don't quite get it out. It was nice to be able to use Brammer on this tank before, because this tank does have good pen. But now, like, rammer is kind of useless, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the increase in DPM you receive with rammer, it's just very, very slight. Like, I just don't think it's worth running rammer anymore on pretty much anything. So, running Kali on this thing, it's nice to have the extra pen, but you don't really need it in a way. So, honestly, if you do end up using rammer on this tank, it's whatever. Like, it's really up to you. Personal preference at the end of the day. Let's see if we can get a juicer into this guy's rear. There we go. And he is going to die. So that's that for game number 2. Not as good as the first game. We didn't hit 3k damage, but, I mean, the game was so fast, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can see there, like, the tank's able to get itself into good situations when you're able to use its low profile to its advantage. 2,300 damage. We do finish top on the team. Our team did just straight up better than theirs. But let's get into our third and final battle in this vehicle. So, do I recommend you guys pick this tank up if it ever comes into the store again? And I honestly say yes. This tank is very, very enjoyable to play. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that and call it boring, but I don't think this tank is boring. I think it has a very cool playstyle. It looks cool, and it's pretty much everything you'll ever need in a tier 8 tank destroyer. You still have to use your brain to play it, which I honestly think makes it more enjoyable to play. Playing something that's completely brain dead like a SMV, I don't know. That to me is unenjoyable. This tank is not unenjoyable in my opinion. Simply because, like I said, you have to use your brain to do well in it still. Unfortunately, I thought you could pen that with the HE, but apparently not. And oh my god, Burrow went on a suicide mission in his T-49. Well, that guy's dead. Apparently their whole team's just kind of YOLOing around. Very interesting stuff indeed. Let's see if we can get a snap shell into this bat chat. Oh my god, 451. Snapperoonie into that bat chat. He is not too happy about that, and we're going to be able to get a nice shell into this IS-6 for 500 damage. Wow. Max roll on this tank is just super, super nice. And let's see if we can get another shell into this IS-6. No, the gun trolls me there. That sucks, but oh well, somewhat. You want to, like, move out of my way, bro? Thank you, bro. Like, what are you doing? Crazy. Man just doesn't even know I exist. Oh, hello. He might pen me. Never mind. I mean, you can see the armor profile when you do wiggle it back and forth means you're going to get some decent bounces in this tank. Now, I mean, the armor profile, it doesn't hold up as much as it used to, but it's still extremely troll. And, yeah, just wiggling it back and forth makes opponents, like, have a very, very hard time penning. So that's very nice indeed. We do pick up the kill on the G-Sor right there. And I'm going to play very aggressive and almost YOLO this IS-6. He does shoot, so I'm pretty safe to pen him. Wow, I don't know where that penned him. That's not where I aimed my shell, but it max rolled him for 500. And yeah, he's now just a one-shot to me. So let's see here. Can I just pen him in the turret? Let's see. I should be able to just overmatch his roof. Or not. Okay, whoa. That was supposed to pen, but I guess it didn't. Bro died. You know what? You know what? I'm going to go for the more important target, which is this tier... Nah, I can't even shoot him. I was going to go for that bat chat, but then I just couldn't even see him, and I didn't have the gun depression for him. So I'll deal with him in a second here. We do have the CC... Or not CC. Yeah, the CC-84. 64. Oh my god, my brain is dying right now. We do have this player in front of me, who I'm going to get a very nice HE shell into with my nice HE alpha damage. I'm probably going to get clipped out by this bat chat, which is very unfortunate. Oh boy. Is he going to kill me? Does he have a shell left? Oh my god, he did, but he bounced it. That's crazy. Man waited till I turned around and started wiggling to shoot at me. That's impressive stuff right there. Good job, Bat Chat. Thank you for letting me live to this point in the battle. Let's see if we can kill him. Where is he? There he is. Oh, come here, Bat Chat. No. Missed opportunity to get an extra 300 damage, but oh well. We still did over 3,000 damage this battle. And honestly, that was a pretty good showcase of what this tank can do in terms of its gun, its gameplay style, playing sort of semi-aggressive, and yeah, everything in between. We do get a first class dealing almost 4,000 damage. Pretty solid indeed for our third and final game. So, overall thoughts on this tank. It's definitely not as overpowered as it used to be. Oh my god, can I stop? Oh my god, can I stop getting these ads, bro, for camos and stuff? It's definitely not as overpowered as it used to be. Is the tank overpowered in general anymore? Probably not. Is it very strong? Yes, in the right situations. And I do think it is worth picking up if you do see it in the shop. And for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to the channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support content like this and more. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.